YouTube, it's your girl Rachel, and I am back after a couple weeks of being really inconsistent, and I'm really sorry. I want to start off by apologizing. I've just been stuck a lot in, we're in the final weeks of me being here in France, and so it's been really hectic of actual finals week, and so I've been studying a lot for the finals that I still have. Actually, it's not finals week, it's finals month here. So anyways, today I've had this written out for a really long time, so I'm not really sure why I haven't recorded it until now, but I do have that follow-up video to my story time, including just things to keep in mind. I have drafted a list on my cute little notebook that Kaylee and Olivia gave me, so if they ever see this, just know that's what I'm using this notebook for. I've just drafted kind of a list, and so if you see me looking down, I'm referencing things. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I wrote poos. I meant purse. But yeah, so for purse, in terms of females out there with all your belongings, definitely get a crossbody. And even guys, if you want to get a purse, for some reason purses or like those kind of satchel bags are really popular for men in Europe, so you would actually blend in. And what I mean is something like this. It's really small, and then it has a long strap, which this is my second one that I've broken, so maybe I shouldn't be recommending this kind of product to you, but definitely recommend anything that you can put over yourself. So now we're going to talk about the contents that you should have within this kind of purse, because your lifeline obviously is going to be in this type of, once again, not trying to gender this, but this one does look like a purse, in this kind of crossbody satchel type of bag. So when you are traveling, of course, you're going to have a passport. So normally when I'm traveling just within France from kind of like city to city, I don't bring my passport with me and I will leave it at home. But then again, I have a secure place at home that I can leave it, since it is my residence and since it is the place that I only have a key to. I will leave my passport at home just because there's less of a chance of it being pickpocketed off of me or stolen from me, or me just kind of forgetting that it's there. When I am traveling across borders, for example, even if it's within the Schengen area, which is 26 of the EU member states, so not the UK, but then again, the UK is kind of up for debate right now. But yeah, whenever I'm traveling even within the Schengen area, I will still bring my passport with me, because for some reason, they don't check your passport when you're going over borders, obviously, because that's the kind of rule that they have there. But I just feel like even if I'm in a train, if I'm in a plane, that rhymed. If I'm in a train, plane, any type of thing where I go over a border, I think that it's good to have your passport on you, because you never know if you're going to get pulled over by someone. And I don't have a residency card within the EU that I could show them, so I think the passport's the next best thing. This is a really question that's up for debate, so this is just my personal take on it. This is the experience that I've had so far, but definitely I'm not saying this is everyone should do this kind of thing, so this is a recommendation, but take it with caution. And if you do get stopped somewhere because you were being a drunk idiot or something like that, and the police come and they ask for your passport and you don't have it, do not come back and blame me, because that is not my fault that you were being dumb. Okay, so anyways, next topic. Second of the things that you should have in your purse is a battery charger, because if your phone dies, that is kind of your lifeline, especially if you're in a different country where you don't know the language, you don't know the roads, you don't know how to pronounce the buildings even. Definitely keep a second kind of battery charger. I have this one, which is, I think, 4 charges, 4 full charges, so I can use this usually for a couple days, and I have 2 phones, as I've said previously, so I definitely do need to keep the charges going. In addition, of course, let's talk about the main thing that people keep in their purses, which is their wallets. So in your wallet, I cannot stress this enough, because this was my idiot ass a couple of months ago. In your wallet, you want to, if you're bringing all of your cards with you, first of all, which I honestly kind of recommend, because different cards work in different places, especially if they are American cards. I've had my American cards authorized to work in the different countries that I'm going to, I'll do the little travel notifications on them. And sometimes the French, maybe online websites, something like the Train, for instance, won't accept my card, even though I've had it authorized. I've told my bank, look, please authorize these transactions here from these dates to these dates. My transactions online still sometimes don't go through. They just don't accept American cards. So I definitely recommend, in all honesty, bringing a variety of cards, variety of bank accounts, just because you never know which bank account's going to work, what kind of card's going to work, if debit's going to work, if credit's going to work. And then also, you want to be able to put your funds into different places, because if you only brought 2 cards while you were abroad or while you were traveling, and those 2 cards got stolen, you wouldn't have access to any of your other accounts, you wouldn't have access to any other forms of currency. So definitely recommend bringing as many cards, honestly, as possible, but here's the catch-all to that phrase. Before you shut the video off, before you think, okay, I got all the tips I freaking need, no, do not bring all of your cards and put them all in your wallet. Bring all of your cards, but put them in different places. Here's what I usually do. I'll keep a credit and a debit, because Credits usually just work everywhere since they don't really have to be authorized like the debit cards do to be worked in different countries since they work on a different kind of system. But the debit and the credit will come from different bank accounts so that I have different funds that I have access to. In addition, I'll bring other cards. I mean, I have other cards and I'll cycle through the different types of bank accounts that I have, but I keep those in different places. There's a lot of repercussions to when you put all your cards in one wallet just because it's convenient to have them all in one place. And then finally, for things that you should have in your purse, I think I have them right now in my purse, actually. Of course, you want to keep your medicines and stuff. That's like a random other thing that I just noticed when I looked at my purse. But you also want to have some locks. You're going to need a lock, obviously, to secure your stuff. So yeah, this lock has a little key, and it came with like 3 different options for keys. So I keep one on my, obviously, my keyring. I kept one in my purse. I kept one in my room. So there's just different places that I have to access this lock in case, of course, I lose one of the keys or one of the keys gets stolen. So that's another way. Just always think about dispersing your items if you have multiple of them amongst yourself. And then another type of lock that I recommend you getting, yes, that's right, I recommend 2, is a luggage lock. It's just thinner so that you can fit it in the little loops of the suitcase, because the big lock that I just showed you for lockers is too thick to put in the holes of luggage, so you have to kind of get a smaller lock. So literally the only final thing that I have to say here is just in terms of security, it's a real issue that I think is important and people should kind of take more into consideration, is just watching over yourself and how you conduct yourself when you're in a different country or when you're traveling, because, you know, obviously making sure that your things, your possessions are safe and that they don't get stolen is important, but more importantly, having these types of things on you can lead to your personal safety being at risk as well. So this is a pretty obvious one. I think all females especially know this one because, I mean, our safety is just kind of at risk all the time. But when you're walking, especially when you're walking alone, always be sure that you're walking in public spaces, that you're not walking too late at night. For me, I always check when the sunset's going to be happening so that I have enough time to get back to my hotel, or that I have time to get back to my residence if I'm even in this town, because it does get really sketchy here. I make sure that whenever I'm walking, if there is someone walking behind me, I will kind of just, you know, keep a track of how long they've been following me for, and then especially if they have been walking and they're kind of just invading your personal space, step aside and let them pass you, because then they're not on your ass, and at the same time, if they are, you know, trying to do some intentions there, you're the one now with the upper hand because you're walking behind them and they don't know what you're doing versus you don't know what they're doing. This being said though, if you stop and you try to make this whole like, oh, I have to go pick up my keys from the floor, you know, to try and let them go ahead, and they don't immediately walk in front of you with like no repercussions or no thought about it, then bitch, you better fucking run, because that means they were totally planning on doing something to you. They're gonna abduct your ass, so like, don't even question it. If they aren't just continuing with their day and moving right in front of you, then fucking start sprinting. I don't care how weird it looks, like, you're a tourist, you look weird anyways. And then finally, just pay attention to how you conduct yourself in public. Definitely try and consolidate your actions and your voice, and, you know, you're not as loud and you're not as drawing attention to yourself in, you know, how you're talking and how you're, you know, you're moving, and then people aren't going to draw attention to you. They're not going to really look your way, and they're not going to target you as a tourist, as someone that they can take advantage of because you're not familiar with the area or, you know, the country. This also goes into how you dress and how you look in public. If you bring a lot of things that have logos on them, that have like Aeropostale, that say your university, if you go to like school somewhere, that have your Greek letters, you're going to be identified more easily because people in general are going to want to read whatever's on your shirt. It's just a natural thing. They always are drawn to letters on people's clothes, but once they do read it and realize that it's in a different language, that they know that, oh, this is American, like this is a brand from somewhere else, they're going to target you as a tourist, and then they're going to probably follow you or come after you or, you know, keep a watch on you for when you're ever off guard so that they can take your stuff. So definitely just be careful of how you know, act in public, how you dress in public, and how you kind of blend in with the rest of the population so that you become less of a suspect yourself. If you like what you see, if you have any more tips to add, like, feel free to comment, feel free to like, subscribe, follow me on everything else. I don't really know whatever people usually say. This is the last video that I will be making in France specifically. I'm going to be making a lot more vlogs of my travels that I'm going to be doing within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to Greece and Spain, and then of my packing up and just my travel back to the United States. But I'm not going to be editing any of those or uploading any of those until I've gotten back home and I've just kind of settled and my life's back to normal. But for now, that is all that I have to say from Europe. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me. See you on the flip side.